Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ali G Show for track 40. I can't believe we've made it to 40 episodes. Thank you all so much for listening and supporting the pod. Today's episode is such a fun one because I am joined by my friend Kim Chinn for a behind-the-scenes look at what it's really like to work events at the New York City Marathon. If you live in New York City, you probably already know Kim, so this episode is going to be really fun to listen to. And if you don't know Kim, it's also going to be really fun to listen to because she's awesome. We got into all things running, from the energy of race weekend at the New York Marathon to the Chicago Marathon, some hot takes about the Boston Marathon. It was such a fun chat, and I can't wait for you all to hear it. Okay, Kim, what's up? I promise you I'll give a fun what's up. I am so excited that you're here. We just had our own little podcast before we started this, but
we did.
Welcome.
Thank
to
you
the pod.
so much.
I'm
I'm very excited to be
happy
here and chat about everything.
Everything. I feel like
on and
everything.
off the record.
On and off the record.
Yes.
Except nobody will hear the off the records. Only me.
It's true.
That's right.
Insider scoop.
That's right. That's what we do here on the LIG show. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about today. I feel like you had the best behind the scenes look at the marathon this year, but you are also like a crazy runner and an awesome runner and a great friend. So why don't you kick it off by telling everyone who you are and where you're from and what you do? Because I know, but nobody else knows.
Yeah.
So fill them in.
I'm Kim. I come from the great state of Ohio. And that's where I grew up.
Woo-hoo.
And I came to New York City almost 8 years ago. So I feel like I'm like on the cusp of being like a true New Yorker. Yeah. Not quite, but kind of.
I feel like you're there though.
Yeah, I feel like I've lived hard days, so it counts.
Yeah.
I've lived the New York City life where you hate everything. Then I work at New York Roadrunners, which is a very new position, and so it's been exciting to be on the backside of the running machine that is the New York Roadrunners. And I also work at Mile High Run Club, so I get to work with runners at a fitness studio. And I myself am an avid runner. I've been running since middle school, I guess, like on a team, but I'm sure I was running all the time when I was little.
That's so cool.
That's me.
So did you that was great. That was a great intro of yourself. Way to go. You're already killing it.
Natural podcaster.
I know because I am Kim. Did you run in high school as well and college?
Yes, I did. I ran, I started in middle school on the middle school cross country team, West Virginia Middle School in Ohio. And I didn't want to be on the running team. I played soccer. I did basketball. I did all the sports growing up with my dad. And I think prior to that, I was always running in races, and I was pretty quick for my age. Mm-hmm. I think that's what people associated with me, was being fast. And so he made me join the cross country team. He dropped me off at cross country practice in 7th grade. And the first day we had to run 2 miles, and I had probably never run 2 miles before in my life, and ran it, and then went to soccer practice. And I think I was maybe the one of 2 or 3 girls on the team at that point. And I was running with the boys and was pretty successful in 7th grade, and came back in 8th grade. And then went into high school, where I continued to play soccer and run cross country in the fall, and then played soccer and ran track in the spring. So
wow.
Did it both. Yeah.
Oh my God. So busy.
Very busy. I don't know how that got worked out. I've talked to people before, and they're like, you were allowed to do that. And I think it was just because I don't know how it worked out. I think I was just pretty good at running, and that coach wanted me to play cross country, and then I was pretty decent at soccer, and that coach wanted me to play. And so we worked out a
Yeah.
deal. So after school, I would go to cross country practice first, and then I would drive to soccer practice and do the last hour of
Oh
soccer
my God.
practice, and then I would just do
Wow.
that for 3 months.
That's honestly dedication. And that
I
young
was
too. Like I
dedicated.
remember I wanted to work. All I wanted to do was work. Like I played soccer and lacrosse. I didn't like do track or cross country or anything, but I played both. And then I was like, ugh, I really want to like make money and like have money to go out. And then I was like, maybe I won't do lacrosse. And then it like slowly dwindled from there. But it was kind of a similar situation. Like you weren't really supposed to do that,
Yeah.
but like I had played lacrosse for the coach in like middle school and he
Yeah.
had said, "Oh, we want you to play." And I was like, "No." Uh and then I
But
ended
then
up
you were there.
in
Yeah.
this. I know. I get it. But
I
dedication for real when
also,
you're that young.
yeah, I also had a job. I worked at Cinemark, the best seat in town, which is a movie theater.
Ooh.
I
It
was
was
a
fun.
popcorn person, and then I was a ticket seller.
Okay, did you smell like popcorn?
100%. It was nasty.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
had these movie t-shirts that we would have to wear, and they would, I don't know, anytime a new movie was coming out. So maybe like every month we would get new movie t-shirts, but you had to wear the movie t-shirt. It was your uniform, and gross, like so
That's
gross.
crazy.
Everything smelled like
I
popcorn.
bet. I feel like I had a good friend who worked at a movie theater and I was so curious if you smell like popcorn because I scooped ice cream at Haagen-Dazs and you can
Oh,
imagine
okay.
what like that smelled like at the end of the day.
Did you
Like just
smell
it
like
was
dairy?
yeah, like dairy. Yeah. Which to this day that oh my god, I could gag thinking about it. That smell makes me want to die. Like I can't. If
Yeah,
something
I
smells
could see
too
that.
dairy-y, like nobody gets it, but I'm like, you just have to trust me. I can't eat this right
Can't do
now.
it.
I just can't do it. I can't do it.
I feel that way about the butter at the movie theater.
Ooh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we so this was like circa 2006. So, you know, the
yeah.
early years of modern cinema. Anyway, but the pump machine was behind the counter. Like you couldn't do it
Oh, you
yourself.
couldn't do it yourself.
No, it was
Mm.
behind the counter, and you had to clean that thing at the end of the night.
Oh no.
So
No, no,
gross.
no.
And there are all these
No,
pieces and
no, no.
parts. Yes.
No.
And but when they got the one where it is now, where you push the button and it comes out, that you do not have to
Yeah.
clean except for like the little grate at the bottom. But yeah, it was so I'm like, I will not be consuming that in my body.
Do you eat
But I do
popcorn?
support everyone who does consume the butter from
Yeah, we have to, you know,
around.
you have to support
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
on the record. Off
Um,
the record, you can
on the
tell me how you really
record,
feel.
on and off the record, you can eat the butter. But I do eat popcorn. But I do judge popcorn very harshly.
Okay, fair. I could see that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
like,
like I
this
judge
is
ice cream.
cold.
Yeah. Oh, that's gross. Cold popcorn's
Yeah.
disgusting. And when it gets soggy, that's why I
Yeah.
never got the butter because I never understood every piece you got with the butter on it was soggy
And like
unless the person
heavy.
that was serving it didn't do it right. Yeah, it was like just and then it left like a film in your mouth, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
Ugh, I just well, that's crazy. Props to you
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know if I
too.
could thank
Scuba.
you. You know, I have one very strong arm and one very weak arm. So
I
that's what
would
I got out
imagine
of
because
that.
I can't like I think about scooping it out of the thing in the freezer, and you really gotta like work
You really
for
got to
it.
like get in there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like a pretty decent scooper. I was like not great at making cakes cuz
You had to bake the
I
cake?
made yes. It was actually really fun. I liked writing on it cuz I'm like
Okay, that's fun.
very art yeah, like I'm very artistic. So
Uh-huh.
like I love doing the decorations and like all that, but I wasn't good at making them because I always made them how I would want them, which is like with a lot of the fudge and like the crunchy cookies in the
Yeah,
middle.
you're doing
And
it
then
right.
like yeah, and like people like my boss I think it was really cuz my boss didn't want me to use all the like little cookie crumbles, but he was like, people don't want that. Like, they don't want a lot of that. And I was like, I think you're
They
lying. Like,
do.
people, yeah, like that's like the only little piece that I eat of the cake.
In the
So,
comments, people, you
yeah,
want the crumbles.
I want to hear if you want a cake with a lot of fudge and cookie crumbles or if you don't.
Yeah,
And
I
also,
agree.
like, it's just like if you have like a regular cake, which I don't really eat, but like with like a lot of filling in it. I don't know. Otherwise, it's just like cake. Backtracking a little
Yeah,
bit on the NYRR front, but getting into it. Congrats on the new
thanks.
gig.
Thank you.
And yeah, can you share a little bit about what drew you to New York Roadrunners or like why you applied and all that? And what you
Yeah,
actually do, like what your role entails.
yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, I think that like running has always been a passion of mine, something I really sometimes enjoy, sometimes don't, but something I always come back to. And all of my work as in terms of my career has been in youth and youth facing work. So I did Teach for America out of college and was a teacher for 4 years for second grade.
So
And through
cool.
that experience, really learned that um, I really feel passionately about advocating for youth and access for youth, but I don't personally want to be the one to educate them. And so then I pivoted to um, a more like a youth facing work and some experiential ed through travel. And then I found my previous job where I was at for 7 years, which is a youth sport nonprofit called previously called Up to Sports, now called Coach Across America. And we do a lot of, or they do a lot of volunteer work through AmeriCorps programming, and which
Mhm.
tied back to Teacher America and things like that. But they place AmeriCorps members at youth sport organizations. And so through that, I really got to see like organizations across the country doing like such amazing work for any and every like youth sport type thing. So worked at my job 7 years, youth sports, and got to see so many different youth sport organizations doing like a million different things in youth sport. And so that kind of gave me a lens into like what it could be like working at an organization where you're truly seeing the programming through the eyes of that org. Cause I was really like almost 3 steps removed, just kind of seeing what everyone was
Mhm.
doing. And so it was time to kind of transition out of that role and take on some new um, responsibilities. And so I found the role at New York Roadrunners, which is on their community impact team, and which helps support their Rising New York Roadrunners program, and then also some of their community youth facing programs. Like Run for the Future and the Youth Ambassadors and a few other community based programming. And so saw the role, was like, I can do that. And then applied, and then I
Qualified.
started 2 months ago. Yeah. So it was kind of an opportunity to bring together a lot of the professional experience I had with this personal passion, and like meld them together into one job.
Oh my God. I love that for you. That made
Yeah.
me smile so big when you texted me that you got this job. Not that I even knew you were
Yes.
going for it, but I just like
Yeah.
we had talked about it. Like I feel like we've talked about work a lot,
Yes.
just because we've always had like time working pop-ups and things like that and setting up the backline HQ. um,
Yes.
but uh, so I smiled so big when you told me that you got this job because I just had a thought. I was like, it's perfect for you. Like it
Yeah,
literally is
it
just like
feels
I feel like it was
really
just
great.
perfect.
Yeah. And it's been so, the team I work with there is amazing and so nice and helpful. And I'm certainly learning a lot over the last couple months. And it was an interesting time to come into with the marathon being like what felt like tomorrow, the first day it started. So it was a busy time, but an exciting time. And I'm really glad to work there because I was kind of hesitant about trying to find a job at New York Roadrunners because people in my like atmosphere, space, um, through the youth sports. Like, you should look for a job at New York Roadrunners. It'd be perfect. And I was like, is that just too much running? It's like I run
Yeah.
as my personal hobby, and then I work at my run club, and then this would be
Yeah.
like another layer where it's just like, is it too much? But it's proving to be
Yeah.
great. So it was a a silly fear.
I know. I love that though. And I mean, I think it's a real fear. It might sound silly when you say it out loud, but I think it's a real fear. I always say like if like the second I'm not nervous for a concert season to start or the second I am like not finding joy in going to concerts like outside of work is like the day that I know it's
Mhm.
not for me anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like when
That's so
you have to
true.
find
Yeah.
that balance of like doing what you love, but also being able to separate if it's your job, also, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. And I
But
think
no,
that
I mean, it's
separation
go ahead.
is what I was nervous about. Is it like, is my whole
Yeah.
identity now running?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
when I ran in college and I came out of college, I felt like my whole identity was tied up into running. And so
Hmm.
now I, I'm trying to make sure that like everything about me isn't like running centric,
Yeah.
which this
No,
doesn't
I like
help,
that.
but I do other things.
No, it does. It does. It does. You do other. I can attest to that. You do other things. Um, that's so funny. As we talk about all things running and
Yes.
every angle of running in your life. No, but and to your point, like I think I had said this to you about working for NYRR. The last time I
Hmm.
looked into it, I was like super into the marquee races, and I know that you can't run them, right? Like
Yeah.
if you work, I don't know like what again, like don't quote me on this. Obviously, you know way more than me, but like the last time I had even inquired, it was like oh, you definitely cannot run the marquee races at least, and then
Yeah.
I don't know about the others. So like do you think that will help you find that balance of like oh I can't really have FOMO because I have to work or like I can't
Yeah.
really like be upset that I'm not running it because I'm working it like do you
Yeah.
find like a balance through that set of eyes, you know?
Yeah. That was another hesitation point where I was like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Those are good races. But
Yeah.
it's true. You cannot run them. But there's like blue films, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt better about it because I've already run them all. So I have
Hmm.
had those experiences. So while I do enjoy the New York City half and the marathon and the Brooklyn half, at least I don't feel like it's an experience that I like don't get to have because I've done all of those races, which I'm very grateful to have done. Um, but what's really
Yeah.
nice is there are ways internally where they support staff members getting into the marquee races. So after you've
Hmm.
worked there for a year, you can submit your name into like essentially a staff drawing to be able to run like the Brooklyn half or the New York City half or the New York Marathon, so
Hmm.
that employees do have the opportunity to like experience the races as well, um,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool and nice. So you're not completely removed from it, but it is kind of crazy, the seriousness of those events and the way they really overtake the organization. I do feel like since
Yeah.
I'm not on the adult side of things, where that's not really my thing. I'm on the community impact
Hmm.
side. I work on the youth side. So we do have the kids kickoff, which is the unofficial official kickoff to marathon week. And that is kind of our big thing the weekend before the marathon. And then like all of the other stuff, which is truly like such an operation and astounding when you've seen it from the backside of just how they build the start village and the finish line and the weeks and months of preparation that goes into all of that. Like I do
Yeah.
feel uh, not grateful, but a little bit lucky that like my job isn't like just to set up the finish line. You know what I mean? And to have that kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
stress and responsibility. Um,
Hmm.
or like the marketing or the branding or like setting up the expo. Like that is like someone's job to just make sure that experience is great and to make sure that it is running smoothly. And those individuals and those teams are like out at Javits Center, the finish line of the Start Village, like 24/7 for like the week
Yeah.
before the event. And that is not a role in which that I have, which I feel like brings a subtly different experience to it as well.
No, for sure. For sure. That makes a lot of sense. And like, so walk me through your week before the New York City Marathon this year. Like with
Yeah.
from like your role, your perspective on like the kids and community.
Yeah, I mean like I feel like my marathon week was pretty chill.
I love
I
that.
I
Love
know,
that for
it was
you.
like kind of nice. I We had our big event, which was the kids kickoff, which is
Mhm.
an event that they're really trying to expand and grow, and it's targeted at kids as young as like 3 and as old as 18. And that took place in Central Park on the Sunday before the marathon, and they start at the finish line of the marathon basically, and it was a like a 1.26 mile race or something like that. 1.4, I don't know. It was about a mile and a half. And they basically
Cool.
did like the lower loop of Central Park. They ended in when the bandshell area, and there was festival kind of situation. And it was just a way to engage kids in the hype and the hoopla of marathon season in a way that they feel accomplished. A mile and a half is still really long when you're 11 years old. And
Mhm.
they have dashes for the little kids, and they're getting into the race, which is really cute to see. Like 3-year-olds running 30 yards, you know what I mean? Like it was just
That's
like
really
really
cute.
sweet. Yeah, it was really nice, and it was a beautiful day in terms of weather, and so it was a really nice event. And so I was there on that Sunday very early in the morning. I think I had to be there at like 4. We were done by 2, and that was like the big event of the community side. And then throughout the
Mhm.
week, I had the shoe distribution, which was a great event that we I really had no part of. I was just there to help. Where I A member of the team organized the shoe distribution with New Balance to make sure kids across all 5 boroughs had access to some shoes and an event at the pavilion.
Wow.
And yeah, it was really cool. And then um through the Rising New York Roadrunners program, some of the coaches and those who run the programming, they had entry into New York City Marathon, and there was an event for them to celebrate their work and a course preview. Got to go to the expo, and they had a community impact space and worked the
Very
info
cool.
table there for a little bit. And then I had marathon day where I
Yeah,
was
what was that like?
Team for kids, which was amazing. It was so fun. I feel
So
like I
cool.
had like I said, very simple day. I had to be up very early, 4 a.m., but I was at the ferry terminal behind Javits Center, and I
Wow.
just was there checking bibs, make sure they were on the right ferry, and I was inside. I wasn't even outside. It was sheltered from
Wow.
any kind of cold. And I was just checking these bibs, and I was there until like 9. And then I went back to New York Roadrunners office, used a real bathroom, and then went to the finish line, and then was at the Team for Kids tent at 72nd Street. And I was helped set up some stuff. I got people snacks and drinks, and um, that was just really nice to see them finish.
That's so cool. Wow, that's like
Yeah, it was
they really
nice.
you really bounced around. I mean, it
Yeah,
seems
I
super
did a
chill,
lot
but
of
like
different
that's
stuff.
cool that you had yeah, like I feel like you were with people from the start of the day to the end of their day. Like even though it felt like
Yes,
not that
that
much
was
to
kind of
you know what I
cool.
mean?
Yeah, to
It's a
really like
cool perspective.
see there or hear about like the ferry and they were nervous and then they finished and they were so excited. Um, yeah, it was really great. I think that, which I mean, I think also sound a little bit elitist, but I feel like at this point in like my running journey, I have a lot of times the mindset of like, oh, it's just a marathon. Like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which
Hmm.
is like awful and it is a big deal. But like
No,
I
no. I
don't know
mean,
it,
yeah.
yes, and cuz I've done several marathons at this point. And so what was really crazy was just to like have that perspective shift of like seeing people really feeling proud of their marathon and finishing and like the accomplishment that is. And I'm not saying that it's
Hmm.
not an accomplishment, but I don't think that I always have that feeling when I finish a marathon of like,
Hmm.
wow, that was like a big journey. And it was a big journey, but I don't know why sometimes I get disconnected from that. Like, a marathon is a long way. It's so
Yeah.
far. And so it kind of really made me like take a step back and be like, I really need to start like feeling more proud of like finishing a marathon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you absolutely should. But can we should talk about this for a second because that's an interesting thing. First of all, I don't think it sounds elitist. I actually think that's something that I can relate to on a very deep level because I feel like you and I run obviously we run a lot of miles, run a lot of races, and
Mhm.
I always feel like you're traveling for races. I'm traveling for races. So I think I sometimes have that mindset where I'm like, "Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that." Like and I'll say it to someone and I won't be like, "Oh yeah, it's just another marathon." I'll be like, "Oh, I have another marathon in 2 weeks." And they're like, "Wait, didn't you just run one?" And in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, but it's like I don't even know that I have the words to be like, oh, it's like X, Y, and Z. But I understand that feeling completely
Yeah,
because sometimes I feel like I dissociate a little bit and I'm just like,
maybe
oh yeah,
it's
like I'm
that.
just doing a long run. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I feel like when I trained for the ultra this summer, like I was so beside myself the first time I had to run a back to back. And then like the first time I did it, I'm like, okay, like, and then the next week I was like,
Yeah.
oh, 20 miles today, 18 tomorrow. And it's like stupid when you say it out loud.
Stupid.
And you're like, oh, but I did it and I'm going to do it again. And then I'll be able to do whatever I'm training for. Right. I don't know. But I had to say it because I don't think you sound elitist. I think it's like more relatable than you think out loud. But then I think in turn, it does make experiences like you had on marathon day from like the back portion of it or like the behind the scenes portion of it, like it
Hmm.
makes it that much more special because you are seeing someone like I
Yeah.
love when I see someone cross the finish line and like they're in tears because they PR'd.
Yes.
And like
I
again,
know.
not
Or they
for
just did it.
me
They
not to
like
sound
did it.
elitist, right? And like you're just like, oh my god, like you're crying because you just PR'd and had an amazing race and this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, another one
Did
checked
it.
off the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not in a
I
bad way. I
know.
don't even think
Not
it's
a
a
bad
bad
way.
thing, but I get it.
No.
I get
I
it.
do feel
I get
like
it.
and I think it has to do with like, I don't know if it's just like I'm surrounded by people who just do a lot of running and marathons and so when
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, I'm just doing this marathon, I'm just doing that marathon," and it's like, "Great, you did it." Um, yeah, I'm not sure, but I just had this that epiphany the other day where it's like I need to be
Mhm.
proud. I think more proud of like getting
Yeah.
to the distance and doing the work. Um,
Mhm.
that I don't know if I always have. Even like when I was walking
Yeah.
home, because we as we discussed, it's a journey getting away from that finish line. Um,
Yeah.
and so even like I was like seeing all of these families with their signs and their shirts and just like and then that kind of continued to cement this idea that like it is such a big deal to like complete a
Mhm.
marathon. Um, and and then I was like, why aren't my friends out here with signs? No, I'm just kidding. And
I
then
know. Off the record.
That
I'm
sign
just kidding.
brigade, yeah. Off the record, why aren't they out here with signs? No, but I was just like, oh, that is so compounding. Like, why can like I feel like I just like miss that sometimes in understanding my accomplishment, and it's seeing it through like all of these families and these friends like going out supporting, like traveling to watch someone complete this like really big milestone. And it is a big milestone, and I don't know, I just don't know why I don't always like see it that way.
Yeah. No, I get that. I really, really do get that. Because I mean, I have an amazing pit crew, as I like to call them, and they just follow me
Yeah.
around to all the races, and it's so fun. But it's like when I really think about why I'm doing it, obviously there's a part of me that's like doing it for myself. Like I'm not doing it for a medal. I'm not like I just love when
Yeah.
like everybody is in the same spot or the same city at the same race. Like, and it's not even just to cheer for me. Like if I have friends running it or if I'm cheering for somebody else, like when I went to Chicago with my sister, like you just sometimes you have those moments where it just clicks and you're like, oh, this is why like I'm doing what I'm doing. Like it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Um,
It is
but
supposed
yeah,
to be fun.
yeah, I
Sometimes I
can't say
miss
it
that.
is all the time.
Not
I
always
know.
fun.
Like and it's funny too. And then I obviously have more questions for you, but now that I've sidetracked us, because I think it's important to talk about it because it's a lot of things that I say on this podcast I don't feel are relatable. And then when somebody says something to me, I'm like, wait, I like that I understand that. Like I
Yeah.
completely understand that feeling. Um Was there anything funny that you overheard at the ferry, or were there any moments at the finish line where you're like, wow, this is
I don't
insane. I'm meant
think
to be here.
I don't think anything funny happened. Um, what one thing did surprise me is I guess, and I mean I feel this too before a marathon, but like people were either really excited or really nervous. It was like we had two big camps, and they were just like asking lots of questions and needed to know the logistics and every single piece in the puzzle because they were so nervous, or people were just like so glad to be there and they were just like, I'm great day. Like, I'm going to get
Yeah.
across the finish line and it's going to be wonderful. But it was, yeah, it was such an easy morning, such a interesting day. Um, Nothing crazy there. The finish line was also wild. You know,
I
what was the
bet.
most surprising thing is like on 72nd Street where people were coming through, there were like several different groups. It was like Achilles was there, Fred's team, we were there. And some people were just walking through there like they just walked 5 minutes, and then some people were walking through there like I've run a marathon, and it was just crazy to me like how drastically different people looked from their day and their experience, and I was just like,
Mhm.
how do some people look like they've not moved an inch and they've clearly just come off of this marathon. But I feel like the nice thing about being at Team for Kids and such a different experience is it was like obviously these people raise money for New York Roadrunners because it's the in-house
Mhm.
a charity for, you know, essentially like funding the programming that I help support and run. And so it was kind of nice to put like people and faces and names to those individuals who are like truly responsible for the ability for Rising New York Roadrunners to happen. But then
Mhm.
also you could see like the community in the room. Like obviously everyone didn't know everyone, but people were in there like talking about their experience. They had their friends, they were waiting for them. Um, they were supporting each other because obviously some people came in and they were um, very tired. And some people,
Yeah.
like I said, look like spring chickens. And so getting people chairs and food and drinks. And I do think that's like the beautiful thing about the running community and New York City Marathon Day is like you really do see the best of people, which sometimes can be hard to see in this city because we all know it's like
Hmm.
an amazing place to live, but also an incredibly hard place to live.
Yeah.
And it's just a day where like everyone is rooting for people to be successful and
Yeah.
to be happy and proud and to get people through the tough moments. And it feels amazing when you're running to feel like you have the whole city behind you, but then also to
Mhm.
like witness that kind of like community and team at the end was also like pretty cool to see.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's so special too. I feel like that's the perfect way to describe it. Is like you
Yeah,
never feel so supported by strangers around you until you get to New
so
York City
supported.
Marathon Day. Seriously,
Yes,
like
it's just like
it's
anybody will give you anything.
I know. Even on like even spectating. I
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw people come together in a way that I obviously haven't seen before because I've really only this was like my first time actually like where I planned on spectating. I'm always just
Oh,
like in the city on marathon day, you know what I mean? Like I was always like that for
yeah.
years and I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll go watch for a little bit." And then when running became a thing and I had a bunch of people running, I'm like, "Oh wait, I need to plan to be here and make sure I have this for this person and that for that person and all this
Yeah.
other stuff." And then you see the same people around you doing it for everyone they know, which is
Everyone.
really cool.
Yes. That was like
It's
the
crazy.
one downside of my particular post is I didn't get to
Mhm.
see anybody. I didn't get to cheer for anybody. And so that was a
Oh.
little sad because I did know a lot of people who were racing and running. Um, and
Mhm.
don't get me started on that app. And so I feel
Yo.
like
I don't even think we could talk about that
everyone
on the record.
feedback on that thing.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it was tough out there trying to follow your friends.
I showed up to watch the elites
Uh-huh.
and I like opened my tracker because I was like, I don't know, the influencer wave and all that, whatever. I just had friends
Sure.
that were like immediately going at like 9:15.
Oh, so you
Um,
in wave one or the influencer wave? Because that has caused some ripples on the social media.
okay, well, let's talk about the influencer wave, if we
Okay.
can. But I think it was the first wave after that, whatever the first wave was of like regulars, they were in
Mm-hmm.
that wave, but they're like fast as fuck. So I'm like,
Regulars.
okay, I need to be there to see them because I will miss them and I'm not good at like spectating. I love it. I love
Or
cheering. I am
so hard.
it stresses me out. And it's something this talk about like you're numb to a feeling. Like just, I'm not good at it. I will scream my ass off for you, but like opening an app or find my iPhone just stresses me out. And it's something that I completely understand that I like just like it's an oversight for me because I'm always running. But I'm
Yeah,
getting better.
it's
But I
hard.
showed up to
And
watch.
a
Yeah,
wave of people, and they all are wearing the same black outfit. And it's like
I know. I know. I'm like, can you at least get like bright shoes or something? I always try to wear bright shoes because they always stick out to
something.
me. Something. You need
Yes.
something. But yeah, my point in telling you that was I showed up to watch the elites and then I was like, I'll just stay because my friends are coming. The second that I opened the app, everybody was gone on my tracker. I had like 73 people on my tracker. Everyone was gone. I'm like, great. This is awesome.
73.
So I had to like, I was like going back and because I screen recorded who I was tracking for one of my friends because she lives in DC and she's like, I want to track who you're tracking. And I'm like, okay, we know a bunch of the same people, obviously. So I
Sure.
literally was like going through my screen recording, adding the people back, and then it would like do it again. And I'm like, you know what? I give up. I'm over it.
Yeah,
Um,
I had that
yeah.
same experience. I was only tracking 7 people. And but then there was one point where it wasn't showing up on one screen, but it was showing up on the map. So then I was kind of watching
Hmm.
people on the map, and then they would finish, and then it was like they didn't exist. And I was like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah.
So
But
if
then I
anyone
also
else
had
had that experience,
strangers,
please do give feedback. Yes, I also had a couple
right?
strangers, and I was like, I don't know this person, but
I know.
go.
I was like, it's like 5:30 p.m. and they're like, "Oh, XYZ finished the race." I'm like, who is that?"
I don't know that.
It's like, I don't
I
even know
didn't
who
even
that
get
is.
one notification. I didn't know
That's
when people
crazy.
started. I didn't know when they crossed anything. I didn't know when they finished. I was like, what is this doing for me? I was like, do I have my notifications off? Because sometimes I do. And no,
Yeah.
they were on.
It ruined my
So
life. The app ruined my life. Not gonna lie.
I
My
think that
full
will be
spectating life.
a point of improvement for next year.
I hope so. Okay, so now we have to talk about the influencer wave. What is the
That's
deal?
ripple
First of all,
waves.
give me yeah, like I feel like people are pissed, but
So
then
mad.
I
It's
mean,
stupid.
it is
Okay, this is
stupid.
my only thing. I think that they should have to start behind the elite runners, and only because like I saw a video, I think it was Matt James going across the Queensboro Bridge, and I think the elite men were passing him. And I was like, these
Mhm.
people kind of have to be in the way a little bit with like the
Yeah.
lead car. And so that's my only piece of feedback is I think maybe let the elites go so there aren't like random people in the way. But then
Right.
also, it's like,
Like
whatever.
what's the point? What's the point of like you being ahead of they're going to
Done
pass you
earlier.
anyway. Yeah, but like if the elites are going to pass you, just go right after them. Can't there be
Yeah,
like
but doesn't
can't they
like the
go
regular
after?
wave do that? I don't know why
Yeah,
they
but you
start
can
earlier than everyone. I do understand. I get both sides. I get that like be like a person and get in your wave, like be with the people. You're not that
yeah.
famous. But even like the famous
Yeah.
people, I think were in the waves.
Yeah. There were a lot of
I don't
people. There were
know.
actually a lot of like more famous people that I was surprised about running this year. I mean, it's always like,
Yeah.
you always get The Bachelor and then you always
Yeah.
get like yeah, oh, Matt James is always running. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I saw the influencer wave and I'm like, man, I just want the elite women to come by and the elite men and like what's happening?
Yeah.
where where are they?
Yeah.
It feels like I don't know, but I was also spectating at like mile 6, so I don't know that I got the
I don't
full
know when I don't know
influencer
when it
wave
came
effect.
through. The people are heated about it, and I just think it's funny. Because I
Yeah.
don't care really, but that was my only thing. I was like, if I were, also you're running alone, which I feel like
I all of them.
some of the joy of running the New York City Marathon is like being with the people.
Mhm.
And I do, and again, this is gonna sound potentially elitist, but I had this experience last year. I ran the New York City Marathon with my friend Callie, and we um, started in wave two, and which is great.
Mhm.
I have traditionally started in wave one, close corral. And so I did not realize how crowded it gets.
Mhm.
Um, even in wave two. Like there were moments where I was like, it's crowded here. And
Yeah.
so I maybe they don't want it crowded for them, but it's not like they're running that fast.
Yeah, and it's also like crowded because they don't want like people to see them or
They
just because
only
they
want
don't want
people to see
people
them.
running around them. Yeah, like I'm just so confused by it. Because also, like, I can't even
Yeah.
tell you the last time I recognized my own sibling in the corral, let alone like a famous person next to me.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
wonder if it's
Like,
because they run like maybe they run like a 4 or 5 hour marathon and so they like don't want to finish when it's getting dark.
oh, true. Or I guess like finish with people that are like starting later. I don't know.
Yeah, because I
Yeah, I don't
mean
know.
like even they could put them in wave one though. I mean like I've run past people who are walking in wave one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But like I mean I think like Des Linden and Anthony Ramos they ran like a 4:44 marathon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so maybe they're just trying to get the influencers who run a variety of times to finish when it's still light out.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Maybe
take. I didn't think about that. Yeah, because it
it's
gets
better for
dark so
photos.
early.
so
Oh,
early, like 4 o'clock.
depressing. So
I know.
depressing. Well, while we're on the topic of hot takes,
Yeah.
do you have any like running hot takes about anything? I'm putting you on the
Oh
spot with this one.
God, that's a good question. I think um one of my hot takes is like not everybody needs a super shoe.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's
Hmm.
a really good
I
one.
think
Okay, so do
that
you, yeah, like tell me a little more.
I just
I'm
don't
really
think
putting
the
you on the
super
spot.
shoe is doing what people want it to do at all paces. I think there's a
Hmm.
point in which the shoe is not giving you the return you think it is. Um,
Mhm.
I think the science says, don't quote me, I think that it says that it's about an 8-minute mile.
That's like the
And
fastest or
after,
the slowest?
I think so, around there. And I think after that, I don't think you're getting quite the return on the shoe as you think you are. Let me check the science on that. But I think it's around an 8-minute mile, maybe 8:30. And also, I don't think that I think that you have to have a lot of like foot stability and ankle stability and probably some mobility down there. And I
Yeah.
don't even have like super
Mm-hmm.
shoes bug up my feet and my calves so mad, so bad.
So
And
I know, same.
so I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, do we need super shoes? I do think that they make you faster, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that if
For
you
sure.
are a professional or elite runner, like you have to wear them. There's like no
Yeah.
question about it. But I think if you're
Mm-hmm.
an everyday runner, you may not need the super shoe.
I like that. That was a good one. That was a really good hot take. I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
not
I
going to
think
fact
there
check
are
you on the
pros of
science,
wearing
but I believe you.
like I think it like there's some like carbon plated or some like not quite like there's like a reduced version of them that might feel more stable on the foot. That might be
Mm-hmm.
nice. Um, I don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever like
Don't come
worn
for me, super
super
shoe
shoe?
wearers.
No, nobody will come for you. I promise. I'll fight them. I'll fight them for you, Kim.
Thank you.
If they haven't come for me yet, they're not going to come for you. Don't worry.
Oh, great.
In my big
What
mouth.
is your hot take? What's
Um,
your current hot take?
I got to think on this. Running
Yeah,
hot
I mean,
take.
it's tough when you're put
I
on the
feel like I have
spot.
to say mine off the record because I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get yelled at. So we
Okay,
can
what is
sidebar about
it?
it because I need your hot take.
Okay.
Um, or I need your opinion on my hot take.
Want to hear my
I
other hot
really
take?
think I think I'll really get canceled if I say mine out loud. So
Okay, don't say
you
it
can
out
judge
loud
me
on
silently.
air.
Yeah, yeah. Tell
Um,
me your hot take.
my other hot take is that Boston Marathon is a scam.
Ooh, okay, okay. Keep going. Elaborate.
I I think well, I have two for Boston. One hot take is that if you run the BQ, you should be able to run the Boston Marathon. And
Agreed.
they need to either make the times faster or they need to do like an A and a B thing where it's like A qualifier is quite quick. There's no chance you're not getting in if you have the A.
Mm-hmm.
The B qualifier is like maybe, maybe not. And so you know that if you're in the B range, it's going to depend on that time. But if you're in the A
Mm-hmm.
range, you automatically get in. So they need to adjust their times accordingly. Because I think it's very unfair that if you hit the BQ and you don't get to race, because there's a 5 minute cutoff, is
Mm-hmm.
insane. That's my
I
hot
could
take
not agree
number one
more.
about the Boston Marathon. If you hit it, you
Okay,
should
give
be able
me
to run.
yes. Okay,
You
so
can
do you
just
have
figure out
another
a
one
better
about
system.
Boston?
The
Yeah,
second
we
one is
do.
the whole thing's a scam. It is so,
And that's it.
and
Slam the
that's
phone.
it. It's so expensive to do this stupid race. And I know it's like hype and it's great and it's like this pivotal marathon experience. And I've done it, I think 3 times. But every time I'm like, this is a scam. It's like they you have to get the time qualifier. So you have to like put all this effort into money into hitting in the time. If you
Mhm.
run fast enough, you beat that 5 minute cutoff, and you can go. Then you have to pay so much money to go to this race. It is like the entry fee. Boston cranks up those hotel prices. You have a 3 night minimum. It's
Mhm.
$3,000 to sleep in Boston for 3 days. Then you
Yeah.
have to like what? And then
Oh my god. The
and then you
accuracy
have to
right now.
get you have to get to Boston, which could be a variety of prices, but there's at least another $300-400. And then you get there and you have to get that stupid jacket because you have to. And then I mean, you don't have to, but like that's the point. And
No,
then
you
that's
have to.
another like $150. And then you got to eat for 3 days. It's like you're
And
spending
a lot.
five
You have to eat a
thousand
lot.
dollars. You get a lot. You're
I
carb
know.
loading, okay? And you spend like $5,000 to run this race, and it is a scam. And that is my
Yeah.
opinion.
Wow,
I
I
mean, I'm sure you
loved
can do
that.
that for cheaper, but
That was my favorite moment of the year on the podcast, literally ever. That was awesome. Okay, so many things on that. Yes, the time qualification, I think okay, I this might be a hot take to you. I
sure.
completely agree with everything you said along the lines of the time qualification. They need either a better system or it should be like A group, you're a shoe in, or B group, like there might be a buffer, you may or may not get in.
Yes.
But I do like the fact, nobody come for me. I actually really do like the fact that there are only like two ways in. Because I think with everything like blowing up the way that it has in running, and it like forget about time, forget about whatever. I guess not forget about time because there has to be some sort of standard if you want to have like two ways into a race. But I do like the fact that you can't just like sign up. And I think like
Yeah.
if there's one thing I actually respect about the BAA, it's that they have not like backtracked on that one thing. That like there are only you can only do charity or you can only time qualify. Um
Yeah.
with that being said though, I think it's complete bullshit that you lower my time or make my time faster by 5 minutes and then there's still like a 6 minute cutoff. Like
Yes.
that's
They
not
should have
fair.
made them
If you're going to
faster.
make
Like,
me run or you think based on your system that I'm going to have to run a 3:15 when my qualifying time is a 3:20 or whatever, if I have to run a 3:20 if my qualifying time is a 3:25, just tell me to run a 3:20. You know what I
yes.
mean? Like just tell me to run the faster time so that you're not setting people up for disappointment. And I had
And
like
yes.
no, and I don't want to like again, I'm talk about sounding like an elitist. I had in the fall, I came off the ultra, which obviously is much slower, and it was really hard for me to get
Sure.
back into like my speed work and like my faster paces just because you're doing so
Yeah.
many long runs that like it's a different stride. It like my hips felt weird. I just was like really having a hard time. Then finally got back into like my marathon training. And then I had like a little fall on the West Side Highway and I like messed up my ankle. Um,
Hmm.
so I never really had like a full training cycle going into the fall, but I was like, well, whatever. Like, I don't, similar to what you were saying before, like, I'm kind of just like, not to sound mean, but it's like, whatever. Like, I'm just like, okay, like, I'm going to do it. I really don't care. Like,
Sure.
it's more so to see where I'm at as a checkpoint versus like trying to
Yes.
like beat the clock. Right. And I actually
Yeah.
loved that I did that because it helped me have like a whole new perspective on marathon running and racing. But like, anyway, long story long, I ran like a 3:26. So I was like, okay, like obviously that's not a BQ, but I wasn't going for it. I wasn't like upset. It's not even my goal. It's not
Sure.
my goal anymore. It's just like where my time lands typically like the average of my last few marathons has just been in the BQ range, but it's not something that I'm
Sure.
necessarily going for. So then I go to run Marine Corps and I'm like dying in the last mile. And I'm like, how bad do I want this stupid little buffer? And it turns out I didn't really want it that bad because I ended up running a 3:20, which is still a qualifying time. But I'm like, it was the first time that I was like, oh, wow, that actually might not be good enough. And like that
Oh,
pissed me off. Like that really, no, it didn't piss me off that I didn't make it. It didn't piss me off that I didn't qualify. I mean, I'm already in for
yeah,
next year. I have a whole year.
sure.
It just pissed me off because I was like, just tell me to run the faster time. Like my qualifying time is a 3:25.
Yeah,
So for me to like run a 3:20, which is a great time,
it is great
and
time.
just be like, "Oh yeah, that's really not good enough." Like that's insane.
Yeah,
That
it's
would even come out of my mouth.
crazy.
You know
I
what I
also
mean?
think, yeah, no, I also think like you have to look at the like data. Like women,
Mhm.
I think women probably a little bit more so than men. Men are getting faster too, but women are getting significantly faster.
Oh
And
yeah.
and so it's like I think we have to kind of account for like we're in this like unique running boom. We have more women who are dedicating themselves to um, training programs and coaches and um, potentially like a more rigorous training block than maybe they've done previously. I mean, you see it with even like OTQs, like people are hitting those in a rate that like have not previously been hit. And I think that's across all the times. Like women are
Mhm.
just simply getting faster, which is amazing. You also have to, I mean, hot take on the super shoes, but the super shoes are helping make people faster. People are training smarter. They're fueling better. They're, I think
Mhm.
potentially like people have a better relationship with their body, and it's about being strong and fueling it and having all of those things as well, which makes you perform better. And so I think we're just in this space where people are coming at running with um like more knowledge about how the body can
Mhm.
respond to those things than potentially in the past. And so I also think the BAA needs to like look at that data and like account for that. Also, we have so many more people who are running marathons than ever before.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um so yeah, I agree. I think that's crazy. Like
It's
I
like
would be
insane.
so mad if I ran a BQ time and it was the time and they were like 5 minutes faster. It's yeah, it's just like tell
Mhm.
me to run 5 minutes faster.
Yeah. And then can you
I
imagine
agree.
like I just can't even imagine like not like getting an email of like a rejection email
No,
being
no,
like with so much time on your side in your own eye. Like 5 minutes is a lot of time.
yeah,
And then
it's a
you're
lot of.
like, and
I
I'm
mean,
not I'm not
that's
just talking
so
about me
much time in a
specifically,
marathon.
anybody. Yeah, like anybody
Yeah,
that's like trying to do that, getting an email that's like no, and you're like, wow, that's that like it's
yeah,
just insane. It's just insane. And then like,
it's
okay, so while we're on
insane.
this topic, how do you feel about like the no downhill course rule, whatever that new
Oh,
rule
I
is?
mean, listen, I ran a downhill race once and it was hard. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I get it. I think that people use
Yeah.
those to like buffer some time. Um, yeah, but one time I ran like the Bid Cottonwood half marathon where you start at the top of a mountain literally and you just run downhill. And I've never been more
Mhm.
sore in my whole life than I was after running
I
that half
know.
marathon. But I mean, I guess I get it. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know how much time people are really like gaining from those races. Um,
Right. Like you still have to maintain your
you kind
fast
of,
pace when you're not going
yeah,
downhill. So
yeah.
like
At that
I don't
point
know
in
how
my
much it
life,
actually does.
I mean, it might because I ran the fastest I've ever run a half marathon at that point in my life when I ran that race. And I walked
Mhm.
um, a good
Yeah.
portion of the last couple miles when they were flat going into town. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, I must have been like cooking on the downhill. But
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. But that could also be said for like flat races. It's like, well, there wasn't a hill, and so that
Mhm.
helped me go faster. But I don't know. They just got too many people
No,
running
it's
too
a weird
fast.
thing. I know. Too many people
And
trying
they
to get
cost
in.
$3,000 to go to their hotels. So do you really
To
want to go to
Boston.
Boston?
To Boston, Massachusetts.
I know. I wonder if
That's
it's just like a
crazy.
capacity thing too. Like I don't think that they can make that race any bigger. Um,
Yeah, that's fair.
and
It
so
is kind of tight getting there. It's different than New York.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's a capacity thing or they I think the city itself, someone was saying that like I think the reason it's so expensive is because like I don't think that the influx of 30, 40, 50,000 people works well with the infrastructure of that city.
Mm.
But I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You get it, you get it. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. No, I get that. And okay, one more question before we move on from the hot takes. I
Yeah.
actually don't even know. Whoa, I almost just broke my desk. Um, what's your take on the 6 stars?
Oh,
Because I think that's bullshit that they keep moving the marker to fucking get your 6 stars. It
wait, what's the new
annoys me.
mark?
Well,
Wait,
there's
I
like
don't think
aren't
I
they
know the
adding another one?
controversy.
They're literally
Yeah,
adding another one.
okay. I know, but you still get the six, the original six. You get that
I
medal.
know, but like,
And then
so what do you have to
then
do? Like,
you
how
have
do
to
you
do the
prove that
original
you
six.
started? Yeah, but how? Oh, okay. So anybody who like starts now can get it.
Yeah. Yes, I
Okay.
think so. What
Okay.
I heard, and I don't know, again, not fact checked because I didn't Google it or anything, but you have the original six star. And so what I have heard is that they're going to add, you're not getting a new medal until they get to nine. And so it's Sydney, and then I heard Cape Town, which they just canceled that race. So who's to say they're getting a world major? And then somewhere else in Asia, I thought I heard um
That's crazy. That's so
Shanghai
many.
maybe, I don't know. So I heard that it's the original six and you get it when you've done those, and then when they get to nine they're gonna do maybe a different medal or a new medal. um I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm doing them, I guess.
Yeah, I would say the same.
I've done
But
four of them, so I have two to go, the hardest
which
two to
one?
get into
Tokyo.
in London.
Hmm. I want to do London
So
so bad.
I hope Godspeed to us all getting to that one.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess I'm pro world majors. I also think they're all scams, similar to my
Yeah.
Boston scam. But I
Hmm.
feel like I don't feel as bad, like, spending a larger sum of money to go to, I guess, Europe or Asia than I do going to Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've also kind of come off of though I just did Chicago, and I've I feel like the marathons I've really done recently in the last several years have only been majors, and
Hmm.
I'm kind of like they're crowded. There's so many people. Like I kind of want
Hmm.
to do a smaller one.
Yeah. Highly recommend. It's very fun. I liked the
Yeah, like
two. I
a little
mean,
more like low key.
yeah, yeah. Like you can drive to the start line and park the car. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty fun. Um, and
Don't have to arrive
not
there
having
4 hours early.
yeah, I can actually like sleep in and, you know, um, I don't know. I liked it. I like doing two that were kind of, I mean, Marine Corps wasn't really like off. It was like a mini major. Um,
Yeah, it's like
but it still
the next
wasn't
rundown.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do like a really backwoods one. Like,
Yeah, like a small
yeah,
one.
you know what I mean? My first one was
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard. I told you that. And like I started
Oh.
at the YMCA. Literally started at the local
Hmm.
YMCA and they were like, "Yo, do you think you could maintain this pace?" And I was like, "I've never done this before, so like maybe."
Sure.
And they were like, "Okay, you can start." And I literally just ran by myself through the
Oh
little
my God.
thing and they were like, "Yeah, sure. See
Wow.
you at the finish line."
My first one was Cleveland.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It was, but I also think running is just so differently. Even those small ones are like selling out.
I
Even
know.
Philly this year. It's like you could sign up if you had a
Sold out?
bad New York, yeah, like months ago. Like if you had
Oh
a
my
bad
God.
New York, you could still get a bib and run Philly and try to like redeem yourself. Not that I am pro that, but you could do that and people do that. But I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
it's sold out a while ago.
That's crazy. That's actually insane.
You can't get a bib anywhere these days.
I know. Just have to do it on
Um,
your own,
you have to
unsanctioned.
do it on your own, virtual.
Yeah. I know. You know what's smart? The people that are like doing the virtual and then like doing it during a legit coursed marathon. And it's like a 2 for 1.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
that's,
smart.
yeah, because then you don't have to make up your own like route, you know?
Yeah, you just you jump in,
It's crazy. Running is just too
jump in,
popular.
hang on. It's too popular. I do want the bubble to burst, subtly.
Same. Same. I
Yeah,
want it to burst in a big way, not even
but like
subtly.
not too much, because but just a little bit. Like I'm
Yeah,
really
I wanted to
happy that
like,
people have found running in a way that I feel like I've always found running because for the longest
mhm,
time and what I've experienced is people hate running and they probably still do hate running, but they don't like it, they don't
mhm.
enjoy it, they think it's dumb. But I think COVID, for all that it impacted us, I think it helped people learn that they like to run outside
I
in
agree.
nature.
You're right. That's a positive
Yeah,
to come out
that's
of
a
COVID.
positive.
Yeah,
People learn to
it
run
is.
outside.
Okay, so you have been coaching at Mile High Run Club for a while, right? So how did you get started in
Yeah.
that and what made you want to be like a tread run coach?
I've been there. Well, I've worked at my club pre-COVID. When I first moved to New York City, I had my nonprofit job and I didn't make any money, so I didn't feel like I could afford to take fitness classes. And
Mhm.
so 8 years ago, I did the run work program at Mile High Run Club, where you would work one shift a week and at the front desk, and then you get free
Mhm.
membership to Mile High Run Club. And so it
Ooh.
was great because then I could go to Mile High for free. And then eventually I was like, well, I again work in a nonprofit job, I need more money. So I needed my side hustle. So I was like, can I work here? And so I worked the front desk through right until COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, obviously, everything shut
Mhm.
down. And then coming out of COVID, I don't know what really told my heart and soul that I could be the coach. But I reached out to the head coach at the time, and they were like, I think they posted on Instagram, like, we're doing auditions. And I was like, can I try? And they must have been, really seeking some people to try out. And so then I couldn't like make it for a couple rounds, but eventually I got in there and I auditioned. And it was so funny because I have never done this before, and everyone else in the room had some experience. And I did my very best, and I got into the program where they kind of coach you how to do it. And the two other coaches who were in my class, Megan and Danny, are still at Mile High. They're still coaching there. And I was just talking to Megan the other day, and I think it's almost been 4 years that I've been like on the coaching side of things. Um,
Mhm.
I I think I just thought it would be fun. Like when I was working front desk, I was like, it would just be so fun to be in the room and like make the programs and make the music. Um,
Mhm.
and then I don't know, it's been really cool to see the people who come consistently and get more confident in their running. And a lot of times people come into Mile High, and to explain Mile High Run Club, it's kind of like Soul Cycle, but treadmills. So people come into the room, there's treadmills, there's the music, there's the lights, there's the interval training. And I feel like we get like a nice like mixed bag of a runner who walks into that room. Sometimes it's someone who is on one of the run teams and might have a run coach and runs very quickly. And there's people who come in who say like, I've never run before,
Mm-hmm.
and anything and everything in between. And it's the type of training that I do feel can feel accessible to everybody, because everything in the room is perceived exertion. So I'm never being like, you have to go this fast, but it's like finding that speed that gets you into a general feeling zone. So you and I could be in the
Mm-hmm.
same class, and we could be having the same kind of feeling, but running two completely different paces, because of where we're at in our running journey. And I think that's like it's been really cool to watch people like grow and shift and get stronger. And people 4 years ago who would be like, I've never run a race, or thinking about doing 5Ks or half marathons or marathons. And I think it's a nice way to create community. And I enjoy it. I enjoy being there. I enjoy the people who run there, the coaches, and the community. It's really great.
I love that. I feel like you just have
Yeah.
two really cool jobs.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
you
so.
know, two super
It
cool
is.
jobs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was awesome. And as we close this out here, is there anything that's next for you on the race calendar? Or you have any big goals or any projects you're looking forward to with NYRR? Any races with them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I got nothing. I'm
I
signed up for
love that.
Grandma's Half in June. But I just found out a friend of mine's getting married that weekend, so I got to make some big
Mm,
decisions about that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything. It's been very interesting because last year in Berlin, I really hit my goal, my big goal that I've
hmm.
been chasing for 5 years, which was to break 3 hours in the marathon, and I did that.
It's
And
awesome.
then and then I came into Chicago, and I was like, I guess I'll break it bigger, which I didn't do in Chicago, but I got really close to breaking through again. And then now I'm just like, I don't know. Do I try to get fast in the marathon? Do I try to like, am I kind of over the marathon a little bit? And like, another hot take is like, why do we only run a marathon? Like,
I know. I
why
think
aren't
about this
people
every
excited
day.
about the halves or the 5Ks? I
I
don't know.
know.
So it's like maybe putting more effort into, like, to your point, it's like I last spring was training pretty hard to run a quick half, and my goal was
Hmm.
to get close to 120. Um, and when I was starting to do some of the workouts, like I had no turnover. They would be like, go
Hmm.
this speed, and it would be like, I don't think my legs just
Can
like
go
don't
that
know how
fast.
to go that fast. Like I haven't done this in years.
Hmm.
And so yeah, like maybe trying to find some of that speed again. What
Yeah.
I've been really finding recently is just I'm been kind of enjoying the build and like seeing what I can do, and I've been less
Hmm.
enjoying the racing.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe doing that. I don't know. I got nothing on the calendar. No major, no marathon, maybe a half
I
marathon
love
in
that.
June.
Okay. See,
Yeah,
that's how it should be. I feel that though. I think
we'll
I'm over the
see.
marathon. With
I know.
respectfully to the marathon, I
Yes,
think I'm over it.
respectfully to the marathon. I need a little break. I texted
Yeah.
a friend of mine after I finished the Chicago Marathon. I was like, no more marathons for a while,
Yep.
because I was just like over it.
Yeah. I know. I kind of had that feeling at Marine Corps this year. I mean, I did a lot, so I was like, okay, I kind of expected to be over it. And then when I sort of
Sure.
like tried to race Boston this weekend, I was like, maybe I miss a half. Um,
Yeah.
But then it like keeps going down. I'm like, oh, I kind of miss like really racing a 5K. Like the
Let it
adrenaline
rip.
of like, yeah, like trying to beat like 19 minutes is so it's
Yeah.
like it just ignites this ridiculously angry fire in me where I'm like, oh, that was so fun when I was like so excited to run a 5K.
There's nothing
And then
worse
I
than a
just,
freaking 5K.
I know,
Like
I
when you're
know.
trying to like
Actually,
run a
the mile might
5K,
be worse. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
up there. That's tough as well. Have you ever done the beach
Yeah.
5K?
No, is that the one that is that the Rockaway? Is it that's
Yeah,
the beach there? Yeah. I've
the
never done it.
Rockaway,
Is it
yeah.
fun?
I did it the last 2 years. Yeah, I've done it the last 2 years. I ran basically the same time both years, and I go into it with like zero training. And
Mhm.
it's so fun, but I'm just like, my God, like a 5K is
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
let's get fast at the 5K.
Yeah. See? The only one I won't like try to get faster for is the mile. I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate the
the
mile and I
mile's
hate
hard.
10Ks. 10Ks suck.
10K is hard. Yeah, I
They're
do
all
think that
hard.
I've just kind of accepted that like there are some races where I'm never gonna PR again, but I think there's
Mhm.
still some like personal bests in here.
Yeah, of course.
Like
That
even from when I
you have
was
so
22
many
years
years of
old.
personal bests. You have so many years of personal
So
bests.
many. Yeah.
So many. You're
Maybe
only
not
getting
the
faster.
mile, and maybe not the 5K, but add some
The
miles.
half?
I think the
I feel
half,
like
the
you're a
half
half
is where it's
girl.
at.
You're a half girly. I feel like you've been saying that to me since I met you. Half girl.
Yes.
Forever.
I mean, a half is nice. It's not as much training, but it's just as hard.
Yeah.
And you feel accomplished when you're done.
Yeah. It's really hard to PR though. But it's
Yeah,
fine.
but it's
You
fine.
know? It's fine. Well, if
So
you run
to
grandmas,
end
it's gonna be
this
great.
on a hat, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I just, weddings,
I know.
weddings are so fun.
I know. Weddings are fun. I love weddings. weddings
You know what's more
weddings are
fun than a half
really fun.
marathon? A
A
wedding.
wedding. A wedding. That's right.
A wedding.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Way to
we'll
end it on
see.
a positive note.
I
You're
know.
so right. You can't miss the wedding.
I don't
You
think I
can't.
can.
You can't
But
miss
the
the
good
wedding.
news is the wedding is on a Sunday and the race is on a Saturday. So I may be able to finagle both.
Oh, fine. You have to finagle then. You're stuck. Now you're
We'll
stuck.
see
I was
though.
trying to
We'll
help you, but
see.
you're
We'll
stuck.
see.
Oh my God. I love it. This is my favorite episode of the year for
Oh my
everybody listening and
gosh.
for you. This is so fun.
I had
So
a great
fun.
time.
I
Thanks for
hope you
letting me
did.
tell you about hot takes. Anytime you want to do a hot take episode, I'm here.
I my like wheels are turning as you're like saying all your hot takes. I think we need to come back and do a hot take episode. Just hot
Yes,
takes.
just hot takes. But we
Just
can
hot
we can have
takes.
some time to really like
Yeah, let them sink
find
in. I'll
them,
think of some.
and then we'll be
Hmm.
able to like go back and forth. Like we could
Yeah.
do top 5 hot takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're doing it.
Okay. We'll
We'll do it
close
in the new
out
year.
2025, 2020. We'll open 2026 with some hot takes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we can revisit at the end of 2026.
Yeah, and see if we were wrong.
It's,
We probably were.
yeah.
But
No, I
that's why
like
they're
that
hot
idea.
takes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the best time. Thanks for
So
being here.
fun.
You're
Yes,
the
thank you
best.
so much.
Of course.
Remember to add your comments about how you want ice cream cake. Like
Yeah, I totally
all of
forgot
it
about
or
that.
was a
Add
little
your
bit.
comments. Add your comments and you'll never hear my hot take. So,
Yeah.
but you'll have Kim's forever. You won't hear my hot takes until January or
Yeah.
whenever we do our top 5 hot
Whenever
takes.
we're gonna burn it down, just jump back in.
That's right. That's right. Well, you're the best. Thanks for coming on. And
Of course.
I will see you back on here soon.
Okay. Bye.
That was such a blast catching up with Kim for track 40 of the pod. I loved hearing all the behind the scenes stories from Marathon Weekend. I loved hearing all of Kim's running hot takes. And as you heard, we are definitely going to regroup in the new year to do an episode of all hot takes. So if you have any hot takes, share them with us. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it, like it, and leave a review. And you can follow along on Instagram as always at _AliG show for new track releases and pod updates. And I will link all of Kim's info in the show notes so you can follow along with her too. Thank you so much again for listening, and I will catch you guys next time on the AliG show.